red means go.
Brews and Banter Podcast. Banter Podcast. Brews and Banter Podcast. What up? Welcome to Brews and Banter Podcast. I'm your host, Rob G. And with me, as always, is the Legendary Brew Crew. What up, fellas?
I was reading this weekend. Mama. Nah, it doesn't taste like dirt. My name is Lou Belgians, ladies and gentlemen. I'm wondering,
does Delaware have an actual culture? This is the podcast that we talk about beer, but we also talk about a lot of things that's happening in the world. Politics, movies, anything really that comes to our mind while we're here sampling these brews. Grab a drink and pull up a chair.
Ooh, we love you, Brews and Banter Podcast.
Welcome to Bruising Banter Podcast, where the topic is the rockin' and the brew. We'll have the fuel. And I'm your host, Rob G. And with me, as always, the Legendary Brew Crew. What's going on? Hello.
How you doing? Hey, Rob.
Shout out to 302 Yoda.
Yes.
Get well soon, my brother.
We'll see you soon, man. Feel better.
This is episode 113.
Nope.
14?
Nope.
12?
Did it start with a 2?
Oh, sure. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, we've been through
213.
100. That was years ago.
213.
Room 112 was last week.
Right.
I even did.
Yeah.
I want to throw 100.
I don't know, man. Get out of the 100.
13.
You gotta give us some credit. You gotta give us more credit for that.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
Thank you.
appreciate
Thank you.
it.
Thank you.
We are here on location, as you can probably see.
Yes.
If you are watching on YouTube, at Locust Lane Brewery here in
Malvern?
Malvern.
Malvern.
Paoli?
It's actually Fraser if you want to get technical,
Fraser?
but
Okay.
mailing address is Malvern.
county is
Good
this?
enough. Chester.
Chester County.
Yeah.
And the voice you are hearing or you are seeing is the one of co-owner and brewer Tom Arnold. Welcome to the podcast.
Welcome.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thanks for coming on, man.
Thanks for
having us.
having me. Thanks for coming out.
Yeah, it's
On a beautiful Sunday.
It's a nice vibe in here.
Yeah.
I've had the beer, but I don't think I've ever been to the location. So this
Oh.
is
Yeah, this is
before
my
we get
first
into it, we always like to know what we are drinking on. So, what are we drinking on
So
today?
we
right now?
started with the Pilsner, our farmhouse Pils, which we got the recipe from a German hop farmer. Went over to Germany. Actually got the farmer's name from the owners of Victory, gave me the name because they buy most of its crop. And went to the place and he had a beer garden. The beer was phenomenal. And I wrote him later. I'm like, can I get the recipe? He's like, yeah, sure, here it is. Just gave me the recipe. He's like German, crazy, psycho, the way he makes his beer. So I kind of simplified it to Americanize it, if you will. But no, so it's actually a dry hop Pils, but dry hopped with German hops.
It's good.
So
Good.
What's the
this-
ABV on that?
5.
Oh, okay. So it's
Yeah, we're not big AVB people. I'd rather sell you 3 beers and be able to drive home as opposed to one big one and you have stumble out the door. So
Yeah.
we keep things running. Like Horace we'll get like an imperial stout over the winter. That's like 8 or 9, but most of these everything's under 7.
Okay.
Okay. Well, before we get into Locust Lane, we want to know a little bit about Tom Arnold. How did you even got in this space? And like, how did you come to like beer in the first place?
Yeah.
Well, I went to school at Penn State, so I don't know if beer likes me or I like beer, whatever, who knows. Neither likes each other. It's a love-hate relationship, if you will. But the 3 of us that owned the place, we were all in the same fraternity at Penn State, which is on Locust Lane, hence the name of the brewery.
Right.
We all went our separate ways in life. Jason was up in New Hampshire and down in Baltimore, moved around. Brian actually never left Chester County. He doesn't count. He worked in Wilmington, but he didn't really go anywhere. And then I moved around. I lived down in Bermuda for a while in Wilmington, and then ended up back here
Bermuda
in
is a nice
2003.
location drop.
That was that
man.
was a good one, right?
I
Yeah,
lived in
yeah,
Bermuda. Good.
yeah.
That's good. Everybody
Yeah.
vacations there. He's like,
I lived there for 6 years in my 20s.
Sound like a baker's spot.
It was. I was working for a hedge fund basically.
Okay.
So,
I was like, that, I know banking. That sounds like a banking.
well, let me be a banker if you want me to move to Bermuda.
worked for the same fund. It was actually 6 years there, and then they relocated to Radnor. So I moved back with a job. I grew up in the Lehigh Valley originally. So anyway,
That sucks.
Yeah, that's
it's
the
tough.
only thing that helps is that you used to live around here. But,
Yeah, right,
Oh
yeah.
man.
No, after like
Bermuda
6
to Radnor.
after 6 years down there, you're ready to go.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
It's small. Guy to girl ratio is like 7 guys for every girl. It's not good for somebody like me.
Fair.
So I was done. I met my wife anyway right then, so it was time to go. But
In Bermuda?
Yeah, She's actually from Brazil.
But in Bermuda.
I met her in Bermuda, but she's from Brazil.
So that 7-1 worked
So I got
out.
a lot
That
of
7-1 worked out.
I got a lot of stories to tell. A lot of bees, Bermuda, Brazil. Anyway, no, moved back here, and then my wife we started making wine, but
Nice.
I didn't have the patience for it. Like, this stuff's I'm gonna be dead before this stuff's ready to drink. It's like 3 years from now. I'm like, I don't have time for that. So we moved over to beer, her and I, just for fun, and beer ended up being like awesome thing to talk about, awesome to make. And it kind of grew into like start from kids to like making it, whole grain or whatever home, building your recipes, etc. And then in my job, I finally like burned out my job. I was working nights. I worked in the Asian market, financial market. So I worked like 5, 6 at night to like 3, 4 in the morning or more. It just tired out. So what I like to do, I like making beer. So I told the other guys, I'm like, we're building a brewery. They're like, you're an idiot. Yeah, I know, but we're still building a brewery is the answer to that question.
What year was this idea when you brought it to your friends?
2015.
Okay.
Ish. So I moved here 03. I was like 15. Started building. So KB Brewing was getting bigger, and they had their equipment up for sale. So I started buying stuff from them, and that was December of 15. We signed the lease and started. We signed the lease this place in July of 16. Built it in the fall of 16 and opened April 1st of 17.
Okay.
So all the people that you reached out to in the beginning, they said we're in, or did it sound?
There was only 2 of them. I didn't give them a choice. It wasn't a question. It was a statement. You're
we're
in.
doing it.
Yeah.
Here's the paperwork.
Yeah.
Sign.
Sign here. Yeah. So no, we're in. No, they were in. Like we had 3 completely different skill sets. Like I'm an accounting, finance guy. Jason is more marketing, guy. He deals with label design, helps out with organizing in-house events and such. And then Brian, who I mentioned, grew up in Chester County, knows everybody in Chester County. So he was like, he greased the wheels of getting our licensing done and all the other stuff, like designing the place. He's an architectural engineer, so he knows his stuff. So all 3 of us have different things we do and are good at. So it was a good combo.
So going back to like you and your wife, what gave you and your wife the impetus to even start like making wine? And then I know that I see the transfer from
just an interest.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't even know. I just like cooking in general and doing stuff like that. We got another fraternity brother ours that opened a distillery down in Kent. I like going there and hanging out with him and making distilling stuff.
Yeah.
It's just fun to me. I like cooking. It's just fun.
Okay.
It's a great conversation. I mean,
Yeah, it brought us here.
Yeah,
it brought us together
it's
today.
here we are right now.
For sure.
Now, I had a question on deck, but I lost it for a second there. But in terms of, I guess, like I guess you homebrewed for a little bit.
Yeah.
So what was and that was you and your wife. Now, that she is involved in the business as well now, or?
I mean, yeah, we're married, so yeah, she's involved. But no, like she's less involved with like the recipe development and stuff like that. She's just more into like she'll taste it and give me her opinion and such. Like she's more of a wine person than a beer person, honestly. Like the beer changeover was more me and lack of patience.
Okay.
But in the meantime, so going from home brewing to here, I mean, I don't know if you see in the back on the camera, but it's a 15-barrel system,
Right.
so we're making 450 gallons at a time, and I don't want to F it up.
Yeah.
So I did go to brewing school. So I was working nights, and then I'd come home and get a little bit of rest, and I'd like study. And it was all like at home. Back then it was DVD. Now it'd probably be all online, right? It was a while ago, but did a brewing school, American Brewers Guild. It's out of Vermont. So did brewing school. Went up. It was like 6 months of school, then a week up there for in-service. And it turned out one of the professors was the general manager for Iron Hill. So when I walked in, I had my little name tag, Tom Arnold Malvern. He's like, Malvern? And I'm like, you're free. Yeah. Anyway, we hit it off, and I've kept in touch. He's out in Columbus, Ohio now, but he knew everything about the area, so I was picking him into question.
For sure.
Left him there.
What was the craft beer that you brewed? What was the home brew that you brewed that said, I'm going to start a brewery?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like what made it so good, or did the people, your friends, like who liked it that made you think that you could do this?
It was probably more of a body of work as opposed to a beer. Just like, everything you brew is really good. Like this, my wife was like, you can sell this. And I'm like, all right, well, I guess we're gonna have to prove it, right?
Yeah.
You can sell this, and her not being from the United States, don't realize how like ridiculous the laws are here and how restrictive it is and such. And you got the federal government, state governments involved, they get permission and such. But like it was just a body of work more than anything. Like just took my time making it right and keeping everything clean and such. So yeah, and it turns out there was a beer that I made then that we make now. Actually, of all the beers I made then, the only one we're still making is our Kolsch.
That's what
And
I was gonna ask you.
That's what I wanted to start with, but we actually just kicked it during our first glass of it, right?
Yeah.
So messed that one up.
So
but
all of your recipes that you made, the culture is still.
that's the one that,
going.
yeah, and it's like, that's probably one of our go-to beers. Just clean. It's super simple. It's a basic beer, but we make it really well. We ferment it really well. It's got this really cool like fruitiness, sweetness to it, but it's not sweet. It's really dry. So that's our beer. That's everybody drinks here. We come here for Penn State games to watch a game, and that's all everybody's drinking.
I like it.
So unfortunately, we didn't get to try. Yeah, Kolsch. Unfortunately, we didn't get to try.
Kolsch.
Yeah.
And there was also there was a satellite campus at Penn State around here too, right? There's a great around, so it's kind of all.
There's several. Brandywine Valley just down the road. There's Penn State Great Valley. Brian, one of the owners, is on the board at Brandywine Valley.
So this is like a Penn State game, home game.
This so
where you watch.
we block off the whole parking lot and put a box truck with a TV on the side to show the game down the hill. It's nuts.
Penn State Nation.
We are Penn State. In terms of, I guess, going back in terms of going to the brewery school, I guess that's when it became. Was that one of the requirements? Not requirements, but in terms of like, was somebody was saying like, when they signed on, they say, now you got to be the brewer and you got to you got to know.
That was all you.
No, there was nobody required anything.
Okay.
And there's no like government requirement for it at all. But nobody brought it up at all. I knew I was going to do it anyway, but nobody brought it.
You can tell their fraternity brother, like, yo, whatever you want, bro,
Yeah,
we down.
Good luck.
Yeah,
Sink or
whatever.
swim.
It's like they didn't ask too many questions.
He's like, I got my brewery license. We're
Yeah.
going.
Let's
Let's keep
go.
on going. Yeah, that's awesome.
So when did you? I'm always curious. I know you said that Locust Lane was because of the street you lived on. Was that the first iteration, or you just said this is going to be the brewery, or did you have other thoughts?
With regard to the name?
Yeah.
So we probably had 50 awesome names that we came up every football game we went up to. But by the time we drank enough, by the end of the game, like we didn't remember what the name was. Nobody wrote it down. We don't remember anything. Like that name was awesome. What was it? I have no idea. It happened a lot, a lot. So yeah, no, look, I don't know. Like it just one that stuck. Like we, came up with it. And then we ended up naming the food truck that we have out here is Foster Ave, which is the cross street. The fraternity's on the corner, so it's Locust Lane and Foster Ave. Hence the name of the Foster Ave Carvery food truck.
There you go. I like that.
So all related.
Yeah.
Got some history behind it.
It makes a lot of sense. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense when you tell your story. When you tell your story.
Gotta have a story.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, on a day-to-day operation, in terms of like, so who's involved on a daily in terms of just you?
Me. No, it's me. So the other guys have their regular job. Like Jason's in medical sales, Brian's managing properties for a bank.
Okay.
So the two of them have regular jobs. I mean, they fit in time when they can here, do stuff from home and online and such. But I always kind of joke. So there's a wall here between the tap room and the brewery. They're kind of the face of the business, dealing with people on the ass in the back. So I deal with the stuff in the back, making the beer and such. We have our chef David, who does all the food side. The food's relatively new. We started the food 2 years ago, and he's our third chef, but he's been here a year now and really has taken it over and taken ownership of it. So he deals with all that. I kind of help him out where I can with little stuff, but he deals with that. I deal with beer. I have a brewer. He's also a Tom. A lot of Toms here. So he deals with the brewing side, and I'm kind of helping him out where need be. So I mean, it's we're all kind of in the same. We're all together, we're not like even the previous job I had. There aren't titles. Like there's no title here. Somebody comes, you're the master brewer or the whatever. I'm like, there's no master of anything in here. I still don't know what the hell I'm doing. There's no master of anything. So anyway, we're all just the point is to all be working together as a team.
Yeah.
That's all.
What about this food truck? Does it travel? Does the food truck always? So you have more than one? Okay, because it's always here for y'all when y'all are open, and then it does different festivals or different venues that it needs to.
Yeah. So what happened was we got this truck, and this truck has a full kitchen in it, like stove, oven. I mean, a full gamut. As soon as we did that, people were like, "Oh, cool! You can come to my house on a Saturday." Not really. Like, how are we gonna do here? So we did do a couple events where we kind of set up like a cookout type setup here, like did a charcoal grill and boiled up some corn and stuff like that. We like a cookout and then took the truck somewhere. but it was a logistical nightmare. So we were looking, and a truck came up available that it was actually the very first food truck that was ever here on our very first day we opened. He was trying to get out of the business and had his truck for sale. So we bought his truck, took over his commercial kitchen. That was the start of this year. So we have the second truck, and David's been working his butt off getting it going, and finally has the staff to man it properly. And so yeah, there's 2 trucks. So he's out and about most weekends. It's kind of nuts, yeah.
It's smart because a lot of times you go, sometimes it's hit or miss. Sometimes the brewery have a food truck if they don't have food on site. This one, you know, hey, there's food there.
Right. What kind of food is on the truck?
I mean, it's mostly sandwich related stuff, but he's got a little bit of everything. He's got like clams and fries. I mean, he's got like the basic like burger, pork sandwich, chicken sandwich, fried chicken burger, stuff like that. But he's got clams and fries. He's got something called coxinha, which is a Brazilian. It's almost like a little chicken croquette. It's a Brazilian thing. I'm gonna get. I'm gonna get. I'll get some of those for you here in a little bit. He's got. I mean, like a big soft pretzel that he throws in the oven and warms up. It's a menu's pretty extensive for a food truck. It's not a normal food truck.
I like that because, like you said, sometimes food trucks that come to a brewery, they're hit or miss. Like you may be like, I'm here today to drink. I want to eat. I don't want that food truck. But if there's a lot, but if you go up there and like you said, the menu's extensive, and I like that you have like Foster's Ave is a standard food truck that's here, and you have everything to cater to a variety of different taste buds.
Yeah. We had to, because there's like that you're saying, like we had trucks that our tire blew on the way here, it didn't show up. We were promoting, it didn't show up. Or
I didn't think about that.
We didn't have one, or they show up and it was just crap. Or like it was brutal.
Yeah.
So that's what we got. We were like, we gotta do it ourselves.
So you still have food trucks that come in every once in a while, or it's pretty much just Foster? Okay.
And on top of that, just to add on with the trucks, we have 2 beer serving trailers, and one's a 6-tap, one's a 4-tap trailer, sitting down there on the side that. We'll pull and drop off, so we can have a food truck and beer, like one-stop shop, corporate event type stuff, or go to a beer fest, a food truck fest when we kill it, because we're the only beer that can do that, and we have a food truck.
Right, and they're right next to each other.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
It's crazy.
Now I know you said that in terms of how you got in the beer. In terms of it was like you went to Penn State. How could it not? But was there a specific beer? Like sometimes I've heard stories like it was like, oh, that Mickey's.
It wouldn't have been Mickey's. It would not have been Mickey's. Yeah. No, the one story like that was, and I remember this really well. We went to there was a bar there called the G-Man that we basically lived at the whole time we were there, and Jason's dad came to visit us, and he's like, oh, let's go to G-Man, have a beer, whatever. So we go down there, and he ordered a pitcher with Sam Adams cherry wheat. And I'm like, firstly, I'm used to like a $5 pitcher, like a $15 pitcher. I'm like, oh my god, $15 for a pitcher? Are you kidding me? Couldn't believe it. So he bought this pitcher beer, and it was like the best beer ever. Yeah. So that kind of like got us hooked on. I mean, not Sam Adams. Was it probably early '90s? I guess no, mid '90s. I guess I graduated high school in '91. So probably like '93, '94ish, that time frame. So Sam Adams still pretty new, and the craft beer thing was the first big wave when like Victory and Dogfish Head and a bunch of others that don't exist anymore because they were crappy, but all the good ones are still around. That was the first wave, So that was the beer. Sam Adams cherry wheat.
Did that make you chase other craft style beers, or were you still drinking like the Budweiser or whatever? Yeah. It just sparked it planted the seed. Like you knew there were other beers out there.
But even then, like we lived on Yingling, which is actually still considered a craft beer. They use enough malt to be considered a craft beer, and they do a great job. But that's all we drank. I mean, it was dollar Yingling drafts or whatever.
It was local too.
We were just talking about
that was my first craft beer when I was growing up. It was local, and I didn't even know it was craft beer. I was just like, this is the local beer.
Yeah.
That's what we called it. We didn't even call it craft beer. Like I think, like even Dogfish Head, we were like, this is the local beer. It's from Delaware. That's why we want to drink this particular beer. It's from Pennsylvania. It's close to home. It was never a craft beer title until it was.
No, I know we're talking about the. So now we're drinking on another sample from Locust Lane. What are we drinking on?
We moved over to Oktoberfest.
Okay. Love a good Oktoberfest.
Just released it this weekend.
Now, I have a question about Oktoberfest. Is it a season or is it a style of beer? Because everybody says like different, talks about it in different connotations.
Yeah.
You're saying yes.
The answer is yes, it's both.
Okay.
Both.
All right. So when I'm hearing, I shouldn't be confused anymore.
No.
Okay. All right.
No, Oktoberfest, what's funny about it, everybody's like, oh, we're going to do a party in October for Oktoberfest.
Yes.
Actually, you don't do Oktoberfest Oktoberfest in October.
Right.
Oktoberfest is a celebration of the coming of the 1st of October. So it's the month of September.
Oh, that's Oktoberfest.
It's like an old
A
school.
build-up.
It's an old school harvest festival, right? Like everybody
Okay.
they harvest their grain or the wheat, whatever. So they would make these beers are called Marzens, which means they were made in March, and they sat around in barrels and cellars all summer, and they broke them out for the September Harvest Festival. That's what Oktoberfest
Very
is.
interesting.
So everybody's like, "Oh, we're gonna have Oktoberfest." I'm like, "When is it?" They're like, "October 13th." I'm like,
Nah.
"Great, you missed it."
Yeah.
Good job.
Even though there's a lot of them in October.
No,
Yeah.
there are. People just don't know, and that's fine. So
Yeah. Thanks
actually,
for
we're
the education, because I did not know.
because we're actually doing our Oktoberfest here in the parking lot, like the 8th of October.
October.
So yeah, who am I to make fun, right? Yeah, the irony of that, right? But
Not September the 8th.
but this actually we do. This one is all local malt. So Deer Creek Malt House. You guys so halfway drove by it. It's down 352 here in Glen Mills. They're probably they're not the only now, but they were the first maltster in the state of Pennsylvania.
The first what?
Maltster. They make malt, which is what we
Maltster.
used to make the beer, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
they-
I just
they-
never knew the name. I didn't know
Yeah,
the
so-
name of the process was called maltster.
Yeah, the person that does it is the maltster. So Mark Brault is right down the road. He got in touch with me when we were opening up, and we have our Fluffy Sunshine, which is actually fermenting in the back right now. Fluffy Sunshine, yeah, one of our like a pale ale hoppy beer. And then Oktoberfest is all their malt, so they make it. It's super local. I mean, everything's 7 miles away. But obviously not the hops, but
Yeah.
we get those from Germany. But
Get all
everything
your
else is
hops
local.
from Germany?
No,
Okay.
depends on the beer. So like the pills, yes. This, yes. We try to keep them true to form. Other beers mostly are from like northwestern United States, like Yakima Valley.
Okay.
That's where most of them are grown.
Now, the first Pilsner you let us taste earlier, you said that was from the German
That was-
beer house. And
yeah.
it was his recipe. Is
Yeah.
this some special recipe, or
No.
is it you guys built this recipe?
We built the recipe based around what Deer Creek had that fit the profile.
Okay. Okay.
So they have, there's a base malt, which is like this base malt you'd use in a Pilsner or a Pale Ale, whatever. They have their base malt called Keystone Pale. Then they have 2 caramel malts, which they're roasted a little bit, hence a little bit of color to them,
Yeah.
like brown color. They call them PA Dutch and then PA Double Dutch. They're there too, like I want to call them Munich malt. So there's styles of malts from different cities. There's a Vienna malt, there's a Munich malt. Pilsner is from actually Pils, which is from Czechoslovakia. Anyway, so we use actually I think this year we only use the Dutch and the base malt. The Double Dutch is pretty dark. I like this a little bit lighter.
Okay.
Actually, I like this lighter than it is now, but their process down there is it's not as like regimented as like some gigantic monster in Germany that puts out thousands of tons a day or something. So they're making it's a floor. They do it on a floor. They malt it. Everything's really small scale. So anyway, local.
It gives it a local feel, plus
Sure.
it also gives a different profile. a
Yeah,
little bit.
characteristic that you can't find except for that particular store.
You're not gonna. Yeah, I mean, no one's gonna know what Oktoberfest tastes like last year compared to this year. You're comparing one batch to another right off the
And it would be different if you had a 22 batch of
Sure.
Oktoberfest versus the fresh batch. It's going to taste different anyway.
A lot of times people drinking liters anyway, so they don't remember
Yeah,
what any of it.
yeah. After one, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, that Oktoberfest on the 13th of October is crazy.
But all of us brewers, we're dealing with agricultural product. It changes every year.
Yeah,
Right? So the
that's
hops are
true,
different,
too.
the grain's
That's true,
different,
too.
everything's different. But they expect the beer to be exactly the same every time. So it's like, I as the brewer manage that? Like, how do I make the beer exactly the same every time while it didn't rain as much this year, or
And
there
then
was
how
more
do you know
whatever.
that the malt is different before you put it in the beer?
You don't.
You don't.
You don't. Like, they do some testing on it to give you an idea what the color will be or how much sugar's in that grain, whatever. They do testing on it, but
never
it's
gonna know
it's
until you
not
actually make it.
exactly
Yeah,
the
yeah.
same.
So, but it's in the name. I mean, it's craft beer, so it's like an artisan.
Yeah.
So
Sure.
there's always going to be some unique
Yeah.
characteristics. So
Every
you just
time.
appreciate what you're getting this year.
I'll ask you. I should be asking all brewers and beer brewery owners. Is that a reason why you guys do so many one-offs? Because it's hard from year to year to keep producing that same particular flavor. Because we talked about it just 5 minutes ago. Like we're not going to know the difference between 22's Oktoberfest and 23's Oktoberfest.
Right.
But is the malt characteristics, the hop characteristics changing year to year? Is the soil changing year to year? Is that a reason maybe for one-off so much in craft breweries?
I think the one-offs are more about the customer wanting to try something new every time they come in. It's partly that, and it's partly all the plethora of products out there that are available, like all the different types of hops, all different types of grains. I've actually there's some really cool new yeast that are coming out that add flavor, so you can try all that stuff. And you make one-offs based on it, and a lot of it's like, we have actually a line of beers, we just call them test batch beers, test batch number or whatever. So we did them all in a small system, begin with like a kegel, like 10 gallons at a time type system. Now we got a 30 gallon one, but we also are doing ones on the big system. And we're up to like number like 160 or something. We've done different test batch. We're always testing like hops, yeast, grain. It's always a test. So like it's one-off, part of it's test, part of it's consumer demand, and part of it's just the different options there are for
And when you
things.
say test, you mean making a whole batch of beer and
Yeah.
then drinking it to see if it tastes good enough for service or not?
Well, no, we put it on tap anyway.
You have test beers on tap?
Always. We try to have something
I like
new.
experiments. I like experiments.
Yeah, we'll get out test batch next. That'll be the next beer.
I like experiments.
No, we do.
man.
Yeah, we put them on. Like we put them on.
Okay.
Like
That's
what I
cool.
think doesn't matter. Like I'm not paying for the beer. I drink for free here. God damn it. So what's it matter? You know. So and I kind of if it was up to me, we'd be making Kolsch and Pils and Oktoberfest all year. We wouldn't have. I'm not a huge hoppy person. I'm kind of going off that. So if it was up to me, like we'd be long gone by now. We'd be broke. Broker than broke.
So glad it's not up to you.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah.
Thank God. It's
Yeah,
right.
that is funny because that was kind of one of my next questions in terms of what is your favorite beer style to drink and also produce as well, because I know we
Sometimes
talked to a
it
lot of
changes,
brewers
yeah.
and they be like, we got to do IPAs because that's what people come
Right, but
to.
I'm not drinking. I'm not-
100%.
Yeah, yeah.
100%. So I'll drink Kolsch all day, the pills, this kind of stuff. I just like the malty beers personally.
Okay.
Actually, just on vacation, I'm drinking it was all like big crap, like big beer, not even big crap, just big. I kind of enjoyed those for a week, just to try something different.
Yeah.
But the hoppy stuff, I'll have every once in a while. But as soon as you have one, the next beer after, you're not going to taste. Like, there's no way I would have pulled out the first beer here as our super hoppy IPA,
Right.
and then have the pills. You'd be like, you might have to drink a
Yeah.
glass of water at that point.
Yeah.
You're not tasting. So
I know.
I like, yeah.
He's not a big hoppy guy.
No, you're not either. Yeah, so we're on the same page. But no,
Yeah.
it's I like the lighter stuff personally.
Yeah,
I mean,
me
and the other thing too is, and I don't know why I didn't think of it this before I had this conversation, but early on we had one of the Victory brewers stopped in. His wife worked down the road, and he's like, oh, that's a brewer from Victory. You should go talk to him. Okay, I'll go talk to him. So I started talking. I've been friends with him ever since. Anyway, and he's like, he came. He's like, I came in here the day you opened, and I tried the pills you had on tap. And I'm like, that wasn't on beer. We traded beers with another brewery. He's like, yeah. When I found that out, I was like, thank God, because
Oh, nice.
because they needed some work, and they've done it's a brewery that's still open. They're doing great. It's just that was one of their first pills, and they didn't, they
Right.
didn't maybe know what they were doing or weren't patient with it, whatever. So anyway,
Why'd you put that on your tap?
they opened the same day we did.
Just be friendly.
So we traded. We gave one of our kegs. They gave one. Yeah, we did a cross promotion. Opened the same day.
Makes sense.
And that's the other thing is this industry's super open.
Yeah, it is.
Victory, it's ridiculous. Like almost to the point where I'm like, is somebody effing with me at this point? Because really, are you you can't be telling me the truth. You're leading me astray, right? So, especially coming from the finance world where you couldn't discuss anything with
Right,
anybody,
right.
even within the same firm sometimes,
Right.
but definitely outside. So I was freaking out anyway. But I can't remember where I was going with that whole train of thought. But anyway, the point was that Victory guy, he was saying he comes in, he finds the latest beer you have on tap. So
Yeah.
drink that first.
Right.
And if it's solid, if it's clean, crisp, and doesn't have any flaws, everything else is gonna be great. Because you can hide behind hops, you can hide behind bitterness, you can hide behind all that stuff.
Adjuncts and everything else. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was the
the light pilsners are.
Pick the
was
latest thing.
advice that Garrett Oliver gave everybody
Yeah.
that we were talking about. He was like, yeah, you go to a brewery and find their pills and their lagers, see if they can really brew. After that, you can probably bet
Be
on
okay,
anything else.
Right.
Feel safe
They
if you're
got.
tasting a different
Same.
flavor, a different style. Yeah.
Same conversation. I was like, I don't know why I didn't think about that, but that's completely logical, and I don't know why that didn't cross my mind before, but yeah.
Yeah. And that's how I approach it now. Now I don't say, oh. Now if you don't have a pilsner or a lager on, I'm like, it's probably not my favorite brewery anyway.
Yeah.
Because I do.
You like pilsner.
I like pilsner lagers.
But you go in there, you go into a brewery knowing I'm going to taste the pilsner lager
Yeah.
first.
After that
That
discussion, I
education,
want to
yeah.
know if you can really brew. And hey, it hasn't steered me wrong yet so
Yeah.
far.
But that's
That's
not
how-
your
that's-
style, huh? That's
Oh,
not
no,
your
no,
thing.
that is my thing.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I love a good lager, pilsner. IPAs are probably My least favorite?
Really?
Yeah.
Nice. I like that about you now.
I'm kind of.
I like how
I love you
think.
even more.
Yeah.
I was in love with you before. Now I really love you.
And I don't know if it's, well, I used to hate IPAs when we first started. So I think the more I drank them doing this podcast, I've came to appreciate them, but not love them as much as other folks have. But like stouts were my number one at one point. I like the heavy.
There's so many beers I want you to try sitting here now. Like you're going through the list. I'm like, dude, I got something for you. I got like 8 beers. I'm gonna get out a couple of things.
And then as the journey going on, and I think lagers and like those are all refreshing. They're clean.
Yeah.
Most of the time they're easy drinking.
If done right.
If done right.
If done right.
If done right. So I always enjoy those for sure because it's always a good time if you can drink. Like you said, you want to drink 3 beers and still not be something else.
Sure.
When you see that 13%, you're like, give me this.
Yeah, right.
So what you'll see, like what we saw in the brewery, we have a Morphous series that sells really well at 7%.
Right.
It sells better in can than it does on draft.
Right.
Because
That
people want
makes
to take it
sense,
home
yeah.
and drink it home.
That
I mean,
makes- yep.
we have our customers are way too responsible.
I was South Side. You got some responsible drinkers here.
They're way too responsible.
Like, I'm gonna have to take that home, guys. That's too high.
I
My
wanna see
wife's gonna kill me. Is really what they're thinking.
I want to see the brewery that actually does that. Like all of our beers over this ABV is just canned and
you
bottled.
imagine?
Yeah, you got to take this home and drink this. Can you please drink this at your house?
Yeah.
Like, don't drive with this.
It's not a bad idea.
This 5%. Drink 3 of these. You'll be fine. Go home. But this 7, 8, this 8%. We
not-
canned it for you.
It's not a bad
Yeah,
idea.
you're welcome. 5%.
like that.
5%.
I like it 5%. 5% of 0 is still 0.
Once it gets up to 1, it's a little bit more.
That's funny. So we got an awesome Imperial Stout. I'm gonna get out a can of that for
All right,
you.
let's do that.
Yeah.
You're right. Because the IPA market has been ridiculously infiltrating craft beer to the point like everybody. We had an IPA festival that we went to yesterday, and like you said, the market is changing. More people are getting into craft beer that normally wouldn't because it is becoming so popular. And I think those taste buds are determining what they like. And some wine drinkers getting into craft beer, they're not gonna like
Start with
IPA
lager, start
necessarily.
with lighter
Yeah,
stuff.
Exactly.
And I think it's more exposure because I think that's my whole thing. I'm like, sometimes people just don't know.
Yeah.
Like, so try.
Yeah, like we always talk about this in my beer journey. Like I didn't know anything about beer, but Coors Light, Yingling, Heineken's.
Sure.
And then they start serving me all these different beers. I find out a stout, I find out a sour. I'm like, oh,
A goza.
yeah, a goosey.
Yeah.
I found
Whatever,
all like
goosey.
I found all these
They
different
goosed you.
beers. I'm like, oh, it's not just Coors Light or Heineken's or Budweiser. Like it's so many different variations. And then within craft beer, they'll have like, this is my version of a Budweiser. This is my version of Coors Light. I'm like, this is even better than Coors Light. Yeah, so yeah, the science of craft beer and the different adjuncts and all the different ways. I'm so glad that it's moving away from IPA to something like this
all
that
right.
we're about to talk about right now.
Yeah, so what we drinking on
So we
that?
made an Imperial Stout again. This is what year? Is it 4? Black is Beautiful. So it started with Weathered
2020.
Souls.
It was 2020.
Yeah,
so
so
we just call it 3 or 4.
this is the 4th
years.
iteration,
Yeah,
I
fourth
guess,
film,
if we
yep.
did it in 2020.
Try.
Yeah, that artwork is fire.
I was about to say,
This-
do you
the
still
artwork's
have
phenomenal.
that? Do you still have that?
Some of the labels?
The labels?
I can look if I have
want-
one. If I have a couple, one's yours.
I want all of the labels you have that are.
So we use the yeah, you're not getting it.
Okay.
But we no, we started with the Weathered Souls started the whole thing, right? So
Yeah.
we started with their label. We used it the first 3, and then this most recent one. We have a good friend that we put artwork up here in the brewery, which you can't see in the camera.
Yes.
There's artwork always up here for sale. We change artists every quarter. For one of the guys that came and did the artwork is an art teacher in the local school district here in Downingtown. He did, we talked to him and he did the artwork. He's actually part of, so we have a scholarship we do. So what we do with this money, I mean, Weathered Soul says, do something social justice related. Our thing is education. So we did it as we do 3 $1,000 scholarships every year with the money raised from the Black is Beautiful beer sales, the can sales.
What are the scholarships for?
Whatever those kids
So-
want to use them for. So they,
That's what I mean. Like, who are you reaching out to get this scholarship?
we go out to every guidance counselor. I think within, there's like some mile radius, 10, 15, 20 miles, I forget the number, but we've had kids from, from Coatesville, from Downingtown, east, west. We've had kids from Radnor. We've had kids from, I don't think anybody from Conestoga from the east, which is one, but we've had kids from all the general areas that, we send out, they have an application. I think we weed out quite a bit because we asked them to write an essay.
Yeah.
I mean, I think now they just go to ChatGPT and put the question in and get an essay and they send it in. One was so good, I'm like, this isn't right. But then the kid showed up and he's going to MIT. I'm like, it's about, maybe you're right. Maybe you are ChatGPT.
He definitely still put it in chat.
Yeah, he knew how to do it. He did ChatGPT before it was famous.
The right prompt gets you a more humanized answer that sounds more like in your voice.
Oh, okay.
You gotta ask the right question.
So he had the codes because of the MIT knowledge. He took the codes and
We've got some awesome families that have come. We do like a little ceremony. We hand out checks to everybody out in the deck here. It's all good. The families we've met, like military moms and whatever, everybody. Like any kind of group of people we get, it's been awesome. Everybody we've met's been great. So we give them all $1,000. Up to them what they want to do with it. If they want to buy books, if they want to go out and get boost up. I mean, how do I know?
Yeah.
But
it's just to help their college experience.
Yeah, just to help them get started.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Some of them need it, some of them don't. But whatever. It is what it is.
Now, is this the original recipe from?
We haven't changed it much. We've kind of messed around a little bit, like
So this
tweaks
is
here
the
and there.
original from 2020.
Yeah,
Okay.
pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah, because some people have like
Yes.
add
Chilies and flavors and maple syrup.
Oh no, we didn't. No. It's a base. So it's a base, really good imperial stout.
Yeah,
It's gold.
That's what a lot of people have been saying. It was like the recipe stands alone. Like you can
Yeah.
add what you want, but you don't have to.
You don't need to do much.
Yeah, you just make
We'll take some of this and put it in like a whiskey barrel and break it out as like a whiskey barrel aged type imperial stout. But yeah, I mean, other than that, but it wouldn't be the Black and Beautiful beer. It'd be
Right.
something else.
How long would you let it sit in the barrel?
Depends on the age of the barrel. So if it's fresh, just like a month or two is good. But if it's been used once or twice or 3 times, then maybe like 6 months.
Okay.
Depends.
Okay.
You'll draw a lot of flavor out right away in the beginning, but then after you let it sit, after the first time that flavor's gone, you have to do it the second time, longer and longer.
Yeah.
So if we could walk around with the camera, we got a big barrel program in the back where we have some beers fermenting in barrel that are like bacteria type fermentations, like sours and stuff. Another beer we get if you guys are interested. We have 14 beers on tap, so there's a lot of choices. But then on top of that, we have a couple wine barrels, a couple whiskey barrels, things like that that are aged.
I'm curious, like in terms of the process, in terms of, I guess, production. I guess in terms of like how does it work in terms of coming up with the styles, or what are we working on this month, or like how does that process kind of work?
So yeah, I kind of do that almost on my own at this point. Still, I mean, we talk about there are definitely seasonal things that we have to have, like this time of year, October has got to come out, and we know what we're doing. A lot of it's already like set in stone because we've been doing this for 6 or 7 years, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's more about what part of it's we have our flagships that I gotta make sure we don't run out of or run out for very little time.
Right.
I don't want to make them too early, but I don't want to make them too late either. We just kind of a shit show. But then there's just seasonal things that we have to get out every year, and then it's funny. We always want to, as we were talking about, like the one-offs.
Yeah.
We want something new.
Right.
We've done it all. Do you have any ideas for it?
I do.
I'm
R&D.
We're having a meeting with. I'm like, oh well, do you have any new ideas?
Yeah.
Because I'm out. Like I'm tapped out. We've been doing it for 7 years. We got 160 different test batches we've done. We've got, I don't know how many different big batch stock. I mean, it's crazy.
You're exhausted.
Yeah, probably like 250. Like, what else?
So
what else can I do?
Is that what helps you stay away from the one-offs? I have these 14 on tap now, and these 10 are so good that I keep them on tap year round. I don't know how many you keep on tap year round.
Yeah, it's for everyone. Oh, that one sold really well. Let's keep that on tap all the time. Okay, great.
We don't have enough taps.
Right on tap. This is the conversation that we have. Everybody's got their different opinion on it, but no, we still have our one-offs. We kind of have to have. We have a mug club here. It's like 175 people mug club. So we're trying to trying to give them something new, give them a reason to come in every week or every other week.
Yeah.
So we actually do ones where when it's a small batch, test batch, we let them get first dibs at it. No, this one's just for you guys. It's almost like a speakeasy. You gotta walk up and ask for it. It's not on the list. Nobody knows about it except you.
Email. Yeah, you got the email.
You got the email or the Facebook post or whatever.
Yeah.
So they come in and they get their thing and they're happy about
Are
it.
you still allowing what do you call it, the mug
Club?
Mug Club? Are you still allowing Mug Club members to join?
So every year, the first couple of years we just grew.
Yeah.
At this point, I mean, I think we're trying not to grow it anymore, but
Right,
there's
yeah.
always like, oh, it's my buddy, or it's a friend, or some dude's in the dark. There's always somebody, right? But there's always a little bit of turnover. Some people moved away, or had kids, or whatever.
Stop drinking beer.
So, God forbid. Yeah, I know, that would kill me. But yeah, I feel bad for that person. But yeah, like so, there's definitely some turnover. So we'll like have maybe 30 drop out and 30 come in, or 35 come in.
But you try to keep it around the number you have.
We were trying to keep it 100 now, we're at 175.
Yeah.
So you see how the math works there. Yeah.
I'm curious. I'm always curious to know. Well, actually, yeah, you kind of answered my question because you was like, do you got any idea? So there is no style of beer that you want to brew that you haven't. Yeah.
At this point, no, I can't think of anything. So it's funny. So like last year, over the winter, we had made an Irish red ale. Probably like, maybe 4 or 5 years ago we made it. And, went over okay, whatever. We made it this year. I'm like, let's make that instead of like a dry Irish stout. We have an imperial stout. We don't like, let's do a low ABV Irish beer as a red.
Right.
So we made it, and everybody went nuts for it. All our club's like, holy crap, you got to make this all year. I'm like, I'm not making this. You're not drinking this in July.
Right.
Guaranteed. There's no way.
Right.
So, so that was like one beer that like we hit like we did before,
Right.
and we came back to it and it hit better
It's
now.
still- yeah,
and that's part of like the market thing we were talking about, like how the market's changed. Like it was IPA, Northeast IPA. It's got to be all hazy. We saw people come in. Oh, what do you have that's hazy?
Yeah.
You're in the wrong
Yeah,
place.
bro, you gotta
You're in the wrong place.
grow up.
Yeah,
Grow
you're
up.
yeah.
Give it
Try,
time.
try something else. But so we have that, but yeah. So the market's changed where people are drinking other things that are that's like just we got a really good fruity fermentation out of it that the beer had turned out awesome. So actually it's on the short list to make here in the fall. Make it a little bit earlier. I think we made it like December, January, kind of coming into St. Patrick's Day over the winter. I think we're gonna, roll it up. We'll roll it up a little bit earlier. Maybe more like it'll be ready in October.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, like I mean, if it goes well,
Yeah, let's just drink it all winter.
make a bigger batch of
Yeah.
it. Maybe
For
make
Novemberfest.
two. Yeah, for Novemberfest.
Yes.
Actually, I guess it would be Decemberfest because it's in November.
Right.
Yeah, right.
Get it right.
Yeah, it's a mess.
Decemberfest.
Yeah, damn Germans.
Do you guys, like you said, there's no style that you haven't made that you want to make. Do you guys do hybrids, like a stout sour mix? Have you tried those in the past yet?
Yeah, no, we've tried to do stuff like that. Like,
How'd it work out for you?
hit or miss.
Yeah.
We do, good enough.
What hybrids can you remember that you tried? Like what style hybrid?
We've fermented like IPAs with saison yeast, things like that, which is
Okay.
actually like
Is it
it's actually like a tired hands type thing. That's what they used to do. Like they used to. They probably still do. They do a lot of saison yeast with their IPAs.
Okay. Does that make it like a less
They just
easier?
got like a peppery bite in the background, because it's hopped to crazy. Like it's
Yeah,
hopped.
it's still hopped up.
Yeah, you
Okay,
don't really
okay.
use it. It's kind of something.
I need something. I need the IPA to be less hopped.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just.
Which
I was
that
hoping that's
doesn't.
what you were gonna
That
say.
sentence doesn't make any sense to me. But
Yeah, I understand. That's why I don't drink them.
Yeah.
That's
I
no
like
such thing.
I like water that's not wet.
Yeah. I know what you're saying. I know what you're
Doesn't
saying.
make any sense.
There's no way that you can make me love IPAs. So yeah, water that's not wet is my type of IPA. I like that,
Can I
John.
wear
That
this?
was good.
Yeah. My water's
Yes.
really wet.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
Thanks,
That's effed
sir.
up. Anyway.
This is good, man.
Thanks.
This is
And
good.
do y'all experiment in like the Roush beers and stuff like that?
The smokes.
So that's actually that's a good story actually. So we made a smoked pills. We did it as a collab with I'm trying to remember the name of the brewery. They're up in across the river. They're Oil City, across the river from Wordsford. Tuned Up is the name of the brewery. They came over. We did Deer Creek down the road here that we did the Oktoberfest with. They smoked some malt for us, and we made a pills with it, and it turned out alright. I mean, it was very smoky. It's like overly smoky to the point where like people are like, that's a little bit too much. What's funny is right after we made like a small batch that we ran through the same mill, and ended up being smoky as well. Like there was probably some dust from that malt.
Yes, yes.
So we called that secondhand smoke. Was the name of that one? That was the name. That was the name of that. That was the name of that test. I'm like, that's secondhand smoke right there. And it wasn't.
So it was less smoke, but you still could catch it.
I was
Not
hoping to
less
get
smoke?
my money back. I was hoping to get my money back.
Secondhand smoke was not something you want
No.
in real life and in the brewery.
Yeah, neither. It was bad. It really wasn't. It was, and I forget. He's trying to make. I think he was trying to make an IPA.
It's a great name. Though.
Yeah, it was
Good
pretty
name.
funny.
Yeah.
But I think he was trying to make an IPA type beer, and I'm like, don't even bother dry hopping. Let's just put it on tap. Hopefully we get like 6 pints to get our money back for the ingredients and get out of here. It was not what we wanted to do. Anyway, that's how it works sometimes, you know. Sometimes you F up and you just drink it. To be honest.
Yeah,
I'm
I was
starting to get more like
trying to warm it
chocolatey,
up.
sweeter.
Yeah, I was trying to warm it up just to see if it would change.
Well, they always say,
Yeah, yep. It definitely changed. It definitely changed.
because that's when they get that. when you
I like
put
them
that-
colder. I like them colder than warmer, but I like the change, the science of the change.
Right.
And how it
Have you
changes.
guys, so this marketing research, have you guys had beers that are on tap that are like cask ale type, like hand pump in the 50s you've had? And that's a good thing. Like I'm debating doing that here.
I think I like the creativity of it. Yeah, so craft beer is about science and creativity
Sure.
in my book. So anytime that it looks different or tastes different, or you did something different to make it, I'm gonna try it and buy it.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, do it.
I'm kind of debating like on the bar, we getting one of those hand pumps and getting a almost like a wine type kegerator. So it's like in the 50s, like like red wine type temperature, and hand pumping in the 50s.
And then there's
Pretty
curiosity alone. People be like,
Yeah.
what's that?
Yeah.
Hopefully, so
Say it.
I hate to say it, but like people are stupid.
Oh man, and they're trash
Like,
too.
well, that's my kid's line. My son would say that they're trash. My 12-year-old, everything's trash. But no, like people aren't like we have.
Say it. Tell it.
But we put we did a cask ale. We put it on the bar. Everybody's like, oh, what's that? Oh, it's got beer in it. Oh, okay, great. And then they go over and order. Like, really, there's beer in there? Yeah, there's beer in there. Would you like try it? No, that's okay.
Really?
They didn't
But you're
get
at the
it, like,
brewery.
Yeah, you're at a brewery. They didn't.
Even a sample?
God help them. I was.
It's like they
I was
thought- it's like they thought it was
flabbergasted,
dishwater
obviously.
in there.
And just like 3 years ago, I'm still pissed off about it.
And it's like you don't even know if the people are ready for it again.
Yeah, I guess that's
People are the piss. People actually know what the line
I'm gonna start not using your sons as saying that they're trash. Just
No,
say that they're the
the
pits.
pits are the worst. We say that a lot here. People, they're the worst. We say that a lot here. People,
Yeah,
they're
that's weird.
they're the worst.
That is so weird. Like you ask about it, you find out that there's beer in there,
Yeah.
and then they say, "Hey, you want to try it?"
I was literally like,
I'll try something different.
I was literally like pouring it out in front of them just so people could see
That there's beer in
and
here.
drinking it. And they're like, yeah, that's great and all.
I'll,
I don't want that.
I'll try this hazy.
Well, because a lot of people don't know that. I mean, most of beer, especially originally, it was about 50 degrees. It wasn't
Right.
35 degrees.
Yeah,
It wasn't
yeah.
freezing like,
Yeah.
No, it was in the basement.
Yeah, that
Like,
wine.
like everything.
Right. We just sitting in the
no
dark. It was
refrigeration.
more dark than cool back in the day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
It was like a root cellar.
And just like when we're doing with the stout, like we're literally drinking it cold and warming it up,
Yeah.
trying to get a different flavor profile to it. And some beers can do it.
Like almost like what you were talking about. How
That is
cheers.
right.
Oh, cheers. Thanks, guys. So this is with the lighter Nair, the light IPA type beer.
Still sounds like you're saying the Nair. That's light.
It's light.
Yeah,
But it's got like a
that's
fruity,
really-
whatever, like hoppy backbone to it.
I needed almost to cleanse my palate after the stout.
It actually, like
Yeah,
that's the negative is that it's after the stout.
This
But,
is-
but we had fun. This is like a cold IPA, so we did everything like a lager. We made a lager beer.
Wow, You made an IPA that I enjoy.
Yeah.
This is like the fourth one in my lifetime.
Alright.
I've drunk like 1,000 of them.
Yeah. Not from a lack of trying, right?
No, I'm trying. I'm trying.
Not from a lack
Oh,
of
and this was the Balloon Festival one.
This is the Balloon
Okay,
Festival beer we were
yeah,
talking
yeah,
about.
yeah.
So Chester County Balloon Festival. We made it last year, but the Balloon Festival never happened due to like some other issues. But so we made it again this year. Not the same, changed the hops, but the same backbone of beer. So it's like 60% malt, 40% rice, which is kind of
So that was making me like it, the rice?
You're talking about how you'd like a light
Yeah.
beer as the backbone.
I would have never even
Which-
thought this was an IPA. Would you?
What's cool is that it's got a ton of hops, but you can pick those hops that if you had a big beer made, like a big malty beer, the hops would disappear. You wouldn't get them. You'd be like, I kind of tasted a little bit fruity. They're lighter hops.
Okay.
You can use those lighter hops in this beer and they shine.
Gotcha. Yeah, they
That's
do.
the point.
This is.
So it actually kind of veers a little.
Listen.
Like almost not winey wine, but it has.
It is. It's light. You're right.
Like
You're right. It's kind of Pinot Noir-ish, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's a little bit girly, but but it's like
No,
a mix of styles
I ain't
too.
gonna say I like this. No, you're not gonna do that.
Oh,
to me.
sorry. Yeah, no, sorry. I went down the wrong path.
Standing on my manhood.
There was a fork in the road and I took it. To quote Yogi
You should
Berra.
have went straight, man. You should have went straight. I'm gonna do something I've probably never done.
you gonna pass you another?
I don't know. Dramatic pause.
Pass me another, man. This lighter than air. Lighter than air. Lighter than air. It don't taste like an IPA. That's why I like it. This is good, man.
It's got some nice hop, like it's fruity, but there's no fruit. They're like, there's no fruit in this? No, there's no fruit. And people freak out.
It still smells delicious.
That is crazy that there's no fruit. in
It
does
smells
have,
fruity,
like,
yeah.
It feels like a
Juicy.
a grapish.
Like when people say
Noir.
this IPA is juicy, this is what I think that they mean. Like the wall jammers that we had yesterday, that's what I think that they mean. I don't understand
Yeah, juicy.
a hot bomb being juicy. That's the opposite. But this is
But
this
this
is
has like
really good,
it
Tom.
almost has like a pear profile.
Yeah.
It's like a wine.
Apricots. Yeah.
Whatever they're called.
Yeah,
Those
however you
damn
say
fruit.
it, pecan, whatever.
Potato, potato.
But speaking of fresh rice, do you do rice lockers as well? I love
This
a
is
good
this
rice
pro-
locker.
this is
Yeah,
actually
that's right.
probably the only one.
Okay.
We've done what's this style called? Like cream corn.
Okay, the cream ale joint.
Cream ale. We've done cream ale, which is like corn based. We've
Corn,
done those.
cream corn. Oh,
Yeah,
you
sorry.
turned me off.
Oh, and I like
I'm
cream
glad
too,
for
so-
that. I'm married,
no, we
so
don't.
we're good.
Yes. Turn me off anytime you want. This
Turn me off all day.
I like cream corn though. You don't like cream corn?
No, I don't like corn at all.
That's
only
right,
only
that's
corn
right.
I like is ground, like tortillas, Doritos.
That's still corn, no?
Doritos.
I
doesn't
said
count
it's
as
ground corn. Like make it in, pop it.
You folks
Doritos.
that don't like stuff that in its natural state.
You know what's funny? He likes it so much, and we're the ones that drank it.
I know y'all finished it. I'm sipping and trying to enjoy.
We'll leave partials.
Y'all don't leave parcels.
Alright, just don't
Thank
make
you,
part.
sir. Thank you. I will not.
No, well, I'm curious, even on the concept you were talking about Brazil and stuff like that, are there fruits that you bring back, like in terms of like, oh, let me try some of these tropical fruits that
I would love to, but they're all we did that with so we were talking about the Captain Tom's offline, but there's we do our sour ales, and the Captain Tom's kind of like we tried to make it like the fruits you get in cereal is kind of the joke.
Yeah, yeah.
So the current one is strawberry and raspberry.
Oh, so you make
and
different
blackberry.
flavors.
Yeah, we do different flavors. So the one was it's kind of funny. The guy that just pulled out actually he just left. Was he kind of joked around. We made it was all tropical fruits like mango and. It's funny when I say the Portuguese word. It's passion fruit, maracujá, which doesn't mean anything. Maracujá if you're Spanish.
We say passion fruit.
We say passion fruit.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. I like what you did there.
So we did one and it was just said now with more tropical. Whatever tropical is, it's got more in it. So we did that. The last one was now with more tropical. Was the last Captain Tom. So we're kind of coming back to the one with the raspberry, strawberry, blackberry.
So is it just a certain amount? Like you have like 4 or 5 of them? How many? flavors
Honestly,
do you
we're
have?
like 2
okay.
right now.
And
So
you just recycle the 2 flavors?
no, honestly, we so the sours have done pretty well, and with Dan who just left, I mentioned He's more of our like sour and barrel fermentation guy, so he knows that stuff better than I do.
Okay.
So I kind of defer to him. We're trying to do like at least three a year. We're doing like a spring, summer, fall sour program. Like winter doesn't really work as well.
Yeah. But Captain Tom's is your sour
So
program.
now we're trying to. It's kettle soured, meaning like you sour it in the kettle. As opposed to in a barrel or in the fermentation vessel. So what you do is you make the beer, you heat it up to the point where you kill everything, like sanitize it.
Yeah.
Then you add, I mean, we've gone as far as adding just yogurt that has bacteria live in it, and that'll sour it for you.
Wow.
Then you boil it again to kill everything. Then you push it over to a fermentation vessel and you ferment it normal. So it's sour, but it's all like the bacteria's bad. Like if I get that in my tanks, I'm not getting it out easily. It's gonna be a shit show. So then everything's gonna be a sour. Then we're all sour.
Right.
Then we're exactly. Then we're secondhand sours.
I don't know if that's good either.
That would be the name of the beer if we effed it up. 100%. So anyway.
So how often? You said you want to try to do 2 to 3 per year, one every season except for the winter.
Yeah.
It was just something that just started recently.
Yeah, literally,
this is
that was
the
the program.
second-
That was
this is
one
the
of the things
second
we,
one, yeah.
one of the things we talked about
Okay.
doing this year is trying to do 3 a year.
Are you
so-
Captain Tom?
I was about to ask
I'm
that.
Tom. Yeah. Unfortunately, I hate having my name on.
Oh,
the
you don't
beer.
like this?
No.
You didn't. So you didn't narcissistically do this.
No.
Because you just say
Not in a
Tom
million
Arnold,
years.
I didn't know which
Yeah,
Tom
right.
was.
I was like, who's Captain Tom?
Not in a million
But that's
years.
actually all the times in here. That's you could say it's not you.
I could.
Are you? do
It
you
actually
have your-
was, but I'm not gonna lie. Yeah.
Do you
I
have
did.
your foot on the barrel?
Or
That's a good picture.
Or
You're
do
a
you
new
have-
PR guy. You're hired.
or are you on a boat of cereal eating the cereal?
Yeah, I'm looking at the label. I don't think.
Are
I'm
you
in there.
are you
Thank God.
cap in? Are you
Cap-
cap in or are you captain?
It's CAP''N.
You are cap in. He is cap. So he is on the boat of cereal with a spoon of cereal. Captain.
That was a good
So
label.
what's that mean? Like you have a kid. Like what's cap mean? My kid says that all the time. What's cap?
Lying.
Yeah, that's lying.
Lying.
Yeah,
You're
you
capping, Dad.
You're lying?
Yeah, you're lying.
That's total cap, Dad.
That's a lie.
No, I'm actually telling the truth.
What's
You
funny?
little
I
mother-
literally thought you meant like that it was cool.
No, nothing about that is cool.
I'm freaking old.
Yeah.
All
Why
it proved
doesn't
to
he
me is
tell you?
how old.
Why doesn't he tell you?
Honestly, I didn't ask.
Okay.
Yeah, that's capping. That's a lie.
He
need
probably
to
lied.
download-
He probably capped me in back.
Yeah.
Reverse.
You need to
will.
download. You need to download Urban Dictionary to keep up with these times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Urban.
these kids.
I live in Trueford Township. There's no urban about
It
it.
doesn't. Your son capped you.
He knows, yeah.
Yes.
He
I
knows.
think that's how you use it. I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm old
No,
too.
Yeah. Is it a verb or an adjective? I'm not even
He
sure.
was cap. Well, because you could say he was capping. So
Yeah.
he was lying.
Right.
That's cap.
Yeah.
Is a lie.
Here's another
Your
one.
son capped you.
So I know
That
it's
is not a word. That
You
people
can't
say.
do that.
somewhat off subject, but when did verse become a verb?
Verse.
Like
1v1?
Eagles versus the Patriots. But my son will say the Eagles are versing the Patriots.
Nope. That's
No,
new to me.
that's not English.
That's Radner. That's Radner speaking. I think that's Radner
You
speaking.
think?
Yeah.
I don't think so, because I've heard it elsewhere.
How old's your son?
12.
That might be a 12-year-old joint.
Yeah.
That might be
How old's your son?
11.
Yeah, versing.
Yeah, I got a 15-year-old. I don't know. I never heard that one.
Versing.
Versing.
Yeah.
I heard.
Who
like,
are we
one
versing
dude-
this week and play soccer?
Like, we're-
Who's he versing this week? I don't know.
Why can't
Is
we
that
just
a
say
word?
going against?
Yeah. Who we
We
playing?
just be playing
Yeah, who we
someone.
playing?
Well, I think I just think you're just easier versing. It sounds ridiculous.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Well,
to
in
those of us that speak English, it sounds ridiculous.
My son says like 1v1. I'm about to play online. I'm about to play my friend 1v1. Are we gonna play 5v5?
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
I'm like, why can't we just say 5-on-5 though? Like 1-on-1. Like,
but it's all about the shortening.
but it's not shorter. It's definitely
1v1
not.
is different than one
but-
versus one.
No, 1-on-1.
1-on-1.
1-on-1 is what we said. And
but
1v1
they
is what
see
the new
it
kids
as
said.
just on the screen. They say exactly how they see it on the screen. 1v1.
So when did we take the VS off?
When we wrote it,
Yeah. Yeah. It's like
we were more verbal.
Yeah.
They're more reading
Yeah,
text than
you're
craft.
right. They don't even know how to do cursive.
I'm way older than you guys, so like I don't know who
No,
we
you're
is,
not that
but
much older than we are. But I'm not gonna say how old we are.
I won't say how.
We're all getting gray here.
Yeah,
I'm seeing
it's
gray, I'm seeing gray on all of it, so it's
a-
okay.
It's all an
I got a
almost
lot of
senior
gray
citizen
hair.
thing.
I got a lot of gray hair.
Yeah, we're all of an age. Tom, we're
Yeah,
all of an age.
I hear you, of an age.
Yeah, we don't know what the kids are talking
You know what
about.
the
I told
Grace-
you the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I had to ask him something the whole time. He's like, Dad, after the movie's over,
Yeah.
I'll tell you what they're talking about.
Don't be that guy that's asking questions.
I'm definitely that guy.
Grab the coxinhas, actually.
Oh.
Wanna grab some food?
Yes.
They're all cool now, but that's all right. So this is a Brazilian thing. Excuse me?
That's it.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, tell us about what we're about to eat here.
Coxinha is, I mean, I guess in English speak, it would be like a. You don't need to use a fork.
No, no.
We're Americans. We get our hands.
Oh, all right.
But it's basically like the outside is it's a different type of flour. It's a mandioca, like cassava. You ever hear cassava? Yeah, so it's cassava flour on the outside, and then the inside's like pulled chicken stuff.
Cheese?
It's like a,
Really, huh?
it's like
Cheese?
fruit, right?
I don't think there's any cheese in it. It shouldn't be.
It tastes
Somebody
creamy.
effed it up. No, that's the cassava flour.
Oh my God.
It's creamier.
And what's this dip?
It's like cassava, like a fruit, right? Is that?
Cassava melon.
It's actually a root.
Okay.
It's a root of a tree.
What's this? Is that just ketchup or cocktail sauce?
It's ketchup with there's actually something called in it called azeite de dende. Dende is like a pepper, something like a pepper oil.
That's really good.
Also, it's not in the beer, but it is on the food truck.
It's on the food truck. If we made a Brazilian beer, you guys would probably like it. It should be a super light lager. But I'm not making a Brazilian beer.
Not yet.
That's
Not yet.
That's not happening.
But your wife doesn't like beer, so maybe that's fine.
But you can put her name on. You can
You
name
can,
it after
you
her.
can put a picture
You're
on.
winning on
Yeah,
Valentine's
you
Day.
absolutely are. You absolutely are. You put this out in November. Make this your December Fest beer. And you won't even have to buy.
A gift of some kind.
Never mind.
Yeah, right.
No woman wants a picture of her face on beer as a present for Christmas.
No.
Well, no, they don't.
Well, the
Yeah.
artwork.
But if they do, you should marry them right away.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the one. That's the one. It's just like, I don't need nothing else. This is it.
Well, speaking of like labels and stuff like that, like who does most of the artwork? I know you talked about the one gentleman, but
And we've changed him up a little bit. Jason, one of the owners, does that. He manages the whole process. So we have a designer. I'm not even sure. I think she's in Massachusetts somewhere. She does a lot. We found her through the printer, the label printer.
Oh, really?
I don't know if she worked for them or just they were doing it very well. But anyway, she does a lot of the label stuff, and we give her a whole lot of input as to what we're looking for.
Yeah.
And then she works from there. So like we have our game day beers that we change. Game days like the one with the not
Well,
Bryce
Heist
Harper.
Barber.
Yeah, the not Bryce Harper label, and the not Joel Embiid label, and the not Carson Wentz, the unspoken of Carson Wentz label.
The also not
who else did you know at all?
the not Lincoln Financial Field
Yeah,
label.
right. Yeah. Well, the Lincoln.
That's Locust Lane Field.
No, the game that one. That's actually Beaver Stadium in State College. So.
Oh, so not the beef.
But that one's okay. But no, that one's okay. So
Oh, you won't get a letter for that.
No, I don't think so.
Why
Because
not?
we're that beer on the right side of, if you read it, is actually sorry, left side. It's for the Adam Talaferro Foundation. I don't know if you know
yeah,
Adam
so yeah,
Talaferro.
yeah.
You know who Adam Talaferro is. So Adam's like become a friend of ours. The guy who runs, the guy who's like the managing director of the hospital where he got his physio, and to tell whoever's watching, like Adam's a guy who broke his neck playing
politician
football.
now, right?
Yeah, he's a politician now, but he broke his neck playing against Ohio State, playing for Penn State.
Okay.
He broke his neck and almost died on the field, and they kind of
Dang.
saved him in Ohio and sent him back here, and then somehow by some miracle he's walking and he's actually a lawyer.
Okay.
I don't know if he's a politician anymore. I think he's out of politics, but he's still a lawyer. He works for like some pharma. He does his wife's a swimmer for Penn State. They're gonna have stud athlete kids.
So is that why you won't get a letter?
Probably not,
From
because I
the
mean, like
state.
if Penn State writes this letter, like, do this for
Adam.
this for Adam, like, piss off.
They don't want
Nah,
Adam.
we
Piss off.
can't mess with Adam.
So don't mess with Adam.
Gotcha.
But anyway, so it's we're actually the label we're working on right now. We're gonna can game day here in like 4 weeks. We're gonna that's the next iteration of another Adam label. Well, actually, the first one we did was him. it was just a pixelated image like the other knot, but it was actually him. Was him walking out in the field on his, it's like his 20th anniversary when he came out. So,
And I was like 20 years?
nope. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
30.
30 years ago?
Yeah,
Man.
it was in the
Yeah.
90s. It
Yeah.
happened when I was there.
Yeah, because I remember
Late 90s.
I remember like watching it.
I remember.
Yeah, like not
I
live,
didn't
but
know- I
like,
didn't
dang,
realize.
I can't believe that happened.
Yeah.
Because it's one of the first times I've seen an injury on the field.
He's such a good dude. He really is.
That's good.
I might have saw a lot because even though I never went to Penn State, I did like the football. 'Cause
Yeah.
I almost went to Penn State.
And it's almost like the local football team because we like Temple hasn't
Was
been
trash.
good. Yeah,
It was trash, especially in
and
the
then
90s.
University of Delaware and Dell State, they're in a whole different division. So it's like your local, even though it's 4 hours away, your local team.
Because that was the
is
biggest
the
local
line.
team because
Yeah.
Temple wasn't great.
And then Joe
Villanova was
Paterno,
small.
yeah,
So
they
I guess-
division 2.
Poor Rutgers.
Yeah, well,
They're close.
I wasn't going.
Rutgers was trash.
Yeah, I
Poor-
wasn't
poor
going.
Rutgers.
Rutgers is only good. Rutgers is not good, but they only are good because they were able to join the Big Ten.
Yeah,
But
well,
they still
Shano
struggle.
did a really good job before the Big Ten.
They only
He
had
hasn't done it.
But
LJ
yeah, that's what I'm
Smith.
about to say. Like,
Yeah.
and he left. He needed to stay to keep it
Yeah,
going.
but he's back now,
LJ
right?
Smith.
They only had LJ Smith.
And they had a player that got hurt in parallels on the field too. He's
Yeah,
still in
it's-
the wheelchair.
It's happened a lot.
LJ Smith was a beast on college football back in the video game.
The video game.
The video game ball. Right.
You know how long ago that was. This Joker playing NCAA football.
Well, he flashed every now and then on the Eagles, but on the video game,
Yeah. He
was
got
cold.
drafted. He got drafted. You always play versus plumbers and lawyers in college.
You'd verse him. It's a verb.
Yeah.
You'd verse him
Yeah.
against.
Yep. LJ Smith V.
Now, is Andy always an IPA?
Yeah, game the same beer all the time. We just changed the label. That's one of the rotating
Okay.
labels.
Okay.
3-ton Citra label never changed. We have a couple of like flagship. That Game Day is one of them. So I'm trying to think. Amorphous is another one that's a flagship that we change the label all the time. Depending, so it's the same base malt of the beer. We change the hops.
Okay.
Or even the fermentation, we change the yeast. So it'll change the flavor of the beer. So we, depending on what we're doing, yeast or hop wise. Like the most recent one, we used a mix of hops called Cryo Pop. We did it. It happened to be around 4th of July, so we called it Cryo Pop. It had like a label that looked like fireworks.
Yeah. Nice.
Then we change it up.
Okay.
So some things we stay the same, some things change.
Now, do you do any, and it probably not, I think I've only seen it once locally, like any wild, like fermentation?
No.
Like it was like wide open.
Yeah, he said he didn't like
Yeah.
bacteria. He was like, I don't like bacteria. He said that earlier.
Yeah, if we do, it's funny. So it's ironically our accountant that does the accounting for here, does all our taxes and stuff. He's a home brewer and he does that kind of stuff at home. And he'll bring in beers like, I put the bucket out in my backyard in March and it came out with this, and it was awesome. It was really good.
Yeah.
So you don't do it. If you do it, you don't do it in summer when there's like a whole ton of stuff. A whole ton of
You
shit
get
ton
the
of
minimal-
bacteria.
you get
You
minimal
go out there. You go out in winter with just a little bit of yeast. All the bacteria is dead or dormant. They're not, but yeast are flying around. They drop in and they make something awesome. And if you're lucky, you can reuse that maybe. But I'm not.
No chance.
No, not here.
I have like 1 to 3 more questions.
1 to 3.
Yeah, I can make it 4 or 5 depending on how much time we have. But this
I gotta
lo-
pee, so
Oh,
that's,
yeah, definitely. I'll try.
I'm joking.
I'll at least get this one out, and then you go back.
No, I'm good.
Your where the labels are, you have the dartboard, and then
Yeah.
above the dartboard it says Locust Lane League Champs.
League champs. We had our first dart league.
Oh, this is the Dart League Championships.
Yeah.
Got you. Okay.
Yeah,
I
we-
just wanted to make sure.
We named it league champs because we were planning on doing a cornhole league over the summer, but actually no, it was over the spring, but it didn't really take hold. So the darts have done really well. So we do a dart league where it was 4 teams, 2 against 2 on each dartboard on like Thursdays. We were doing it this year, but I think we had so many people, we might add more dartboards and do it on like a Tuesday when we're just open for just the dart people. So we've done. It's been amazing how many
That's
people
good.
like playing darts.
Yeah, you and I would have never thought.
No.
I see dartboards at breweries and bars all the time. I never see anybody playing them.
Yeah, we have one of our staff is the like VOTEC, like wood art teacher. Tries in down in law. I can't remember what school she's in, but he's one of our. He made the trophy.
Wow.
The plaque.
That's
Did
really professional.
he do that too, or?
No, that one is the guy who helped build our bar, like the Live Edge slab bar. He did that for us for fun and put it up so we have his cars there as well to try to sell his stuff.
What about your the tabletops?
Same.
Same. He did
Yeah,
them?
he did. Yeah. Well, you're kind of crappy, so you know we did.
You think so?
Yeah. Well, look at the
Alright,
it's not 100% finished. But no, that was the leftover
You
wood
didn't have
from.
to say that. I would have let you live on that.
No, that's fine. It's the same as it's leftover wood from the bar top.
Okay.
So we made 3 high tops. We have two like coffee tables in the back or something, 2 like end table coffee table type things in the back that we don't use anymore. But we took what was left over from sealing that, just like really cool sealer that goes on like 1 or 2 layers and you're done. Whatever's left over we did there to make some tables.
Now, going back to just the brewery, like you said, you had 14 beers on tap.
14.
So just in terms of like listening to the viewers, like if someone was coming out of town, like, oh, I need to go to Locust Lane, like, so what do they have to have
Yeah, what's in the flight?
before
Yeah.
they walk out of there?
Always start with Kolsch.
Of course, yeah.
Always start with Kolsch. Or if we don't have it, like we just kicked it. But pills, Kolsch or pills? Kolsch or pills? If one of those 2 aren't tapped, then call me at home. Get my ass.
Yeah.
Because I'm not doing my job. Then, so we usually have something like Oktoberfest or an Amber Lager, something like that. Just got a little bit more color to it. Still lagery profile, not hoppy yet.
Okay.
Third would be like one of our pale ales. So we have our test batch. We can get out if you guys want to try some, or our Fluffy Sunshine. Then the 4th beer would be, whatever I think. Like whether you like there's either bitter or Northeast style, either one.
Okay.
So you do a West Coast.
We do both, yeah. We have like right now we have Sugartown IPA because there's a historic Sugartown down the road. We do beer gardens for them, so we made a beer for them, or a 3-ton Citra. They're the 2 stalwarts that are always here.
West Coast is something.
You already know.
It's something.
You already know. I feel it's nothing. It's nothing. My second question is the artwork. You mentioned it earlier.
That was just the first one.
I said I had 1 to 3. I said I had
There's
1 to 3.
there's like an A, B, and C
I
after.
asked the dartboard question.
I didn't know
over
the
here,
follow-ups.
Now we're on B. We're on 2 or B.
Artwork, yeah, go ahead.
The artwork. You mentioned it earlier.
Yeah.
Tell us more about the artwork and how the artists come into your brewery or whatever like that.
So, yeah, a lot of them contact us because they see art up. Oh, we have an artist here. When would you like? I have some too. This is actually like a daughter of one of our mud clubbers does it for fun, and she put her stuff up. So I don't even know how old. When I met her, I swear to God, she was like 14 years old. But
Wow.
She's probably like 20 because I don't know ages at this point. Anyway, but no, her and her parents showed up and put everything up. She sold maybe 3 pieces this time. We've had, local artists from Malvern.
Yeah.
Like the guy who did the Black's Beautiful label. He came in and he has art up. We had different people at different times. So
So they
we
just
try
look
to.
up on the wall. If you like it, buy
If
it.
you like it, buy it. Pay at the register, and
love
we
it.
pass the money on to them.
Now, do you take a percentage?
No.
Nice. That's
No,
awesome.
we just went, no. That was actually funny. The conversation when we first started, people were like, oh, well, what are you going to take? Like 20%?
Yeah.
Like Starbucks does? I'm like,
Yeah, most
no.
people that hold the art do take a percentage.
No,
so
I
that's really awesome.
just want something pretty on my wall.
Yeah.
You know,
It always changes because
Yeah.
if people are buying and people take their stuff down and take it away.
Honestly, like they bring
Yeah.
people in too. So I mean,
True,
we're all
true.
happy. It already makes
Yeah,
money.
that's good.
Yeah.
That's really good.
We do not take it.
Now, are there any upcoming? I know you mentioned. I don't know if you mentioned online or offline in terms of the. I think you did say online. That was March. I mean Oktoberfest. Are there any upcoming
October
events?
Yeah, we're doing.
that coming up.
Yeah, we have. We're trying to do as many we call them taproom tailgates for the Penn State games as we can.
Okay, so that's almost every Saturday that
I
Penn State plays.
started pretty much
Try-
now, right?
we can't do
Like
night.
end of August.
Yeah.
We can't do night games because we actually have a neighborhood above us. So
It's a sound noise ordinance.
yeah, because the train's in between us, and God forbid the train's not loud enough. So they're gonna be. We're doing the first 10th, I guess, is a Sunday. We're doing like a tailgate for that, putting the TV truck out. Yeah, exactly. That's at
Eagles
3:30.
beat Patriots.
Yeah, versus. One's gonna versus.
Versing.
Eagles are gonna be versing. Yeah, right. Exactly. I can't even say it right. I don't know how to say it. It doesn't work in my head.
Doesn't sound good at all.
So yeah, we're doing that, and then we have a couple others going on. Then that's through September. Oktoberfest, we're doing like a big, we do like a special menu, bratwurst and Wiener Schnitzel and all that fun stuff. Probably discount the Oktoberfest as well, down a little bit for fun. And then just set out and have a big party. It's probably like the 7th of October this year. It's a Saturday, whatever it is, 7th, 8th, 9th, somewhere around there. Trying to do as many events as we can. I mean, it's the time of year where breweries probably don't make a lot of money the first half of the year. Like you probably dry January is real and sucks.
Right.
July sucks. Everybody's down around here anyway. Everybody's in Avalon or wherever they're traveling.
shore,
Yeah. So we kind of lose money early, make it in the spring, kind of get back even, lose a little more in the summer, and then the fall is where we finally
Kick it off, yeah.
Yeah, it's like Black Friday's kind of probably a real thing because we actually probably get the black around then,
Right.
around Thanksgiving. So so we got a lot going on, and hopefully here and then even out, like chasing our food truck and the trailers, wherever.
When you, as far as the tailgating things, when does the brewery actually open? Because I know like Penn State games are normally at noon, and then the Eagles afternoons are at 1 or 4 o'clock. So what time does the brewery open on Saturdays and Sundays? You can just give us the times while we're at it right now.
No, Saturday is always open at 1, but we're always open 30 minutes before kickoff. If there's a new game, we're open 11:30.
Okay.
Always. So 1 o'clock
Penn
on
State,
Saturday.
this is Penn State Nation for sure.
Yeah, so Sundays we were doing brunch. We kind of took a hiatus for the summer because no one's around. We start brunch probably 11 a.m. on brunch on Sundays for Eagles games. We'll do like wing specials and stuff all the time.
Do you
Try to drum a crowd.
do you play other games on Saturday besides the Nittany Lions? If the Nittany
Saturday?
Lions are playing at noon, is that on all the TVs?
Yeah, probably.
That makes sense.
If a Temple grad comes in here and bitches, like
Maybe we'll put
probably
the
tell you
small TV in the back.
Put it on your phone.
Yeah, like no one see you over here, man.
We'll give you the Wi-Fi password. Put it on your phone.
That's funny. The rivalry never stops.
Yeah. No, that's fine. We definitely got some Temple people that come here. That
So you guys open up a half an hour early before game. on
Always.
Game day. That's nice. Yeah.
Always.
That's
You
it.
can't have a game time. What, the game
Game day. You open it up at 1:30.
Yeah, for a new game.
Like what we
Oh,
do.
we here tailgate, baby.
Do you advertise that? Do people know that
No, absolutely.
about you guys?
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
no,
because
we're-
I wouldn't even
everybody
think.
knows.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Everybody
I
knows.
can't wait till the fall to come back on Saturday.
Yeah. Let me know when you're coming.
I will. I definitely will. I'm gonna definitely come back on a Saturday or Sunday to see how this tailgate thing goes.
You're gonna come 30 minutes early.
You got to. You got to. The game starts at 12. I got to be here at 11:30.
Let me know when you're coming. I'm here at 9 a.m. setting up.
Oh my goodness! I will not be here that early.
No. I'm just saying I'm here.
Yeah, you own the brewery. You're supposed to do
I'm
stuff
here.
like that. Yeah, I'm just
I'm here.
somewhere in a recorder.
Yeah. In that order.
That's it.
You got more questions.
I do. I have one more question. I want to
All right,
talk
yeah.
about your label.
Yeah.
I kind of understand what's going on, but if you could explain your label and how you got to the label.
So.
Let's keep talking about the logo, guys.
Yeah,
Logo,
label, logo,
I know
sorry.
what you mean.
Yes.
No, I know what you mean.
He knew, but maybe those people
No, it
remember
was
people
pure
were dumb.
luck. Pure luck. Yeah, people are
I
the
said,
worst. People
some
are
of
the
them out
worst.
there ain't the best.
People are the worst.
Yo. People are the pits.
People are the pits.
People are the pits.
The pits.
All of y'all.
But no, like honestly, it was pure luck. We threw out to like this website to get our logo done called 99 Design.
Okay.
You know the website.
Yeah.
So we it's funny. Locust Lane. Everybody came back with like insect references, which doesn't work well for food. I'm
But
guessing.
I think it's a regional thing. Like I thought Locust Lane was the name because there's a Locust Lane in Philly.
Yes.
Right. So
right.
when you said Penn State, I was like, oh, there's a Locust Lane in Penn State.
Yeah,
It made sense right away.
It's somewhat like a Main Street.
Yeah,
type
I
thing.
never thought about
Yeah.
like I know locusts are insects, but I never thought that you were thinking.
Yeah, it's a
I
tree.
was like, this is a street.
Yeah, I was
It's a tree or a street.
I thought it was more Philly, but now that I know you go to Penn State, it makes perfect sense. It makes perfect sense. So go ahead.
But no, the logo, like somebody made an awesome logo for us. It took a while to get the right person on. They could have been in Azerbaijan. I have no idea where the hell they were that they made a logo. They could be anywhere. But they did a good job. And then on like the thing they put in the top that really grabbed us was this like LL. Like
Yeah, that's what I
forward-
wanted
it
to
looks
talk
like it looks
about.
like
Yeah.
LJ.
Yeah.
So and with the keystone, so we've used that a lot. We trademarked the regular, the full logo, and then also this logo.
Okay.
To make sure we put it on hats and stuff. But it was honestly it was pure luck. It was just somebody who's genius, wherever the hell they were, that they put it together.
Thank you from Azerbaijan.
Azerbaijan, wherever they are.
They listen.
Or-
They probably listen intently to the brief that y'all laid out. There.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. So shout out to them for actually paying attention. Like, not just Locust.
Right, it's actually Lane is a street. Lane means street.
It actually, yeah.
Jesus.
They're trying to be clever. Like, oh, a Locust.
Yeah.
But
That's not clever.
Take it for what it is.
Yeah.
they probably thought they had a good idea on their head.
I'm sure they did. But they're not on his shirt. He never wanted an insect. I almost think you put that in the description, like, we do not want an insect.
It probably wasn't.
We did, and it still didn't matter.
Yeah, right.
I said, I don't speak English.
Because what? Because what? People are
These people are dumb.
dumb. Yeah, they're so dumb.
They're the worst.
I'm out here all day, baby. I'll be at Locust Lane all day. I'm coming back for the fall on Saturdays and Sundays.